Hello, this is Jerry Morton. Welcome to my Finding My Way podcast. This is podcast number 16, titled, How Dare You? How Dare You is a story from my adult years. The collection of stories I have written and am reading to you cover many subcultures in our country that I have interacted with from my childhood to my adult and senior years. A more extensive introduction to the Finding My Way stories takes place in the beginning of Podcast 1. Regardless of which podcast you are listening to, you will find the story both entertaining and worthy of your reflective thoughts concerning its contents. The stories, as a collection, provide insights into a span of time that has played a role in shaping American culture and influencing its future. The stories provide you with a sense of admiration for the culture's collective courage and our country's commitment to justice and its optimistic willingness to address new challenges. How dare you? Don't let Tom Butler go through the cafeteria line. He has never signed up for the college's food services. He's been freeloading all this time, stated the manager of the food service operation. What a bombshell. This was going to go down badly. I sure didn't want to do this. From all I could tell, Tom was okay. He lived in the small college town with his family. His father had a national reputation in his professional work. Tom clearly came from a wealthy family. Why would he want to do this? Well, I had my orders from my immediate supervisor. As the coordinator of student workers in the dining hall, I had responsibilities to fulfill. It was the highest position a student at the college could have with the food service company. I got free board and $10 a month. It was better than the 65 cents an hour I got as a dishwasher when I started 3 years ago as a freshman in 1960. I told the servers on the cafeteria lunch line that Tom was not to be served if he ever showed up. Of course, they asked me what was going on. I didn't want to unduly embarrass Tom with the story, so I just said there was a management issue and left it at that. Very soon after the order had been given, Tom appeared at the beginning of the cafeteria line. The salad server told him that I had said they were not to serve him. He demanded to talk to me. Tom was in a rage. He was shouting and cursing. His arms were moving in unison to the ebb and flow of his voice as I approached. What the hell is going on here? You have no right to keep me off the line. I motioned for him to move out of the mainstream flow of the cafeteria line. He rushed towards me screaming, How dare you? How dare you? You have not paid for your meals here. Until you do, you can't go through the line. That's a lie. You're a liar. I wanted to tell him that the decision wasn't mine. I was just carrying out orders. Then I thought, that's a cop-out. I have to take responsibility for my actions. I was the one who had told the staff not to serve him. I had to bear the brunt of his anger. You need to prove that you've paid. Until then, you can't get the food here. I'm going to get you. I'm going to beat the shit out of you. Just step outside right now. I can't. I've got to go to classes. All right then, you son of a bitch. Name a time and place. I'm going to kick your ass. How about tomorrow at 3 behind the football stadium? Just the two of us, no audience. I'll be there. You better show up, you dickhead. I nodded in agreement. The encounter was over. Damn. I didn't want to get into a fight. The guy had to be embarrassed. Maybe he did pay for the meals. All I had to go on was what Mike told me. I trusted Mike. Over the 2 years I had worked under him in this position, he had always been honest with me. I could count on Mike. He was a good man. I looked up to him. He had suggested that I turn professional in his food service company after I graduated. Mike was pretty certain that he would rise rapidly up in the company hierarchy shortly. He wanted to take me with him. I was tempted to accept the offer. At this point, I didn't know what I would be doing after graduation. My broad goal was to get a job helping children, maybe become a teacher or going to graduate school to be a guidance counselor or something. At this point, I didn't know what my options would be. Working with Mike was an attractive one, and always a fallback position if nothing else came through. That evening, I began to dread the next day. When it came, it was like this dark cloud hanging over me. I did not want to fight Tom. It wasn't that I thought I would get hurt that was the most depressing. It was that I understood why Tom thought he had to fight me. He was fighting for his honor. I didn't know if he would be able to beat me up or not. He was smaller in size than I was. However, he appeared to be more muscular. Several of the guys attending the college had black belts in karate. Maybe Tom was trained in the martial arts. All I had going for me was a little training in boxing, plus many rounds of being called out by bullies in the different schools I had attended growing up. I never felt comfortable in any of those fights. They happened by surprise. I would be assaulted and spontaneously fight back in self-defense. At least that's how I was interpreting those past fights. There was no doubt I had experience in fighting. Whether or not that would carry me through the pending encounter was yet to be determined. It was a long walk from my dorm to the back of the football field. I got there a little early. How I wished this wasn't going to happen. Tom drove up in his late model car, got out and briskly walked right up to me. I raised my fist, ready to fend off his first punches and prepared to throw mine. He did the same. We circled each other like two roosters, preparing for the immediate cockfight. His eyes kept darting back and forth. He continued to circle me, and I turned to front him as he moved. Our fists maintained a constant ready. The circling started to frustrate me. "You'll have to throw the first punch," I told him with our eyes locking into the others. "No, you have to hit me first." It is always best for me to have been hit first or to be really angry in order for me to fight with aggression. I can't just hit someone to be hitting him. No, you asked for this fight. You have to throw the first punch. "You did this to me. You have to hit me first," he stated with those eyes continuing to dart back and forth. Then it dawned on me. He was afraid. He was afraid of what I was about to do to him. I knew in that moment I could beat him badly. I could make a bloody mess of him. With his fear, it must have taken a great deal of courage for him to have even shown up to face me. "I quit," I stated, dropping my fist. "I won't fight you. There's nothing you can do to me to make me fight you. I quit. If you want, I'll tell people that we fought and you won. If anyone asks me about it, I'll tell them you won. That's all there is to it." He dropped his fist and stared at me. I turned around and walked back to the dorm. No one ever asked about the outcome of the fight. Tom never again appeared in the cafeteria.